is really fun, and it's on Apple Music, and you've done a few videos already.
Yeah, I did a few videos previous to the album. I'm actually, as you know, we shot it here. I'm working on the newest a video for "Wanna Know" coming out. It's one of the better songs on the project, in my opinion. But we shot we shot more than half the video here. We shot in the photo booth down there.
Okay.
And we shot in the studio that day.
Yeah.
And then we actually had some actors and actresses in like another location, and we put the whole story together.
Oh wow!
So it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah,
it's gonna sort of look like this that we shot here is like telling the story, and I'm like in this black abyss, right?
Okay. No, you have a whole team that you're working with, and like literally creative directors, people that are like masterminding the whole thing. And
yeah, it was really cool. That's my boy. Shout out Dream of Creations.
Yeah,
I literally only go exclusive with them. Like every video I've ever done is through them. I've been with them since they started making videos, right?
Right.
And when they first started, they weren't like super popular, but now like they're getting traction. Like every video I see coming out of the city is like Dream of Creations, like.
Yeah, they're here quite a bit. I'm starting to recognize their faces and their names and say what's up. And
it's just so professional because like when they're here, like I wasn't even expecting it. When we shot that video, it was like I showed up here and they had like a behind the scenes guy. They had 2 photographers. They had their whole film crew, their lights, everything ready to go. So it was like, that's kind of cool. They give you a sense of like, you feel important when you're working with them, right? Like
yeah, absolutely. Like they've got all the gear. They got the strap-ons, those big chest things, and
the chest mounts and the overheads, and
it's like I don't know what any of that is, but it looks official, like like the Men in Black are here,
like the 2 evil geniuses.
So big shout out to them. They're always like super gracious when they come through, never leave a mess or anything.
Very respectful.
They're always welcome, so keep coming through, keep putting good shit out, and we can't wait for the next video. That was actually one of my favorite songs on the project as well, so I'm glad you went with that one. It's just it's very approachable and very radio friendly. I find
anything with a really good melody like that, it's usually the best to run with, right? Because I was thinking about it on the way here, like I didn't know what you were gonna ask me. I didn't know like what we'd get into, but like anyone can come with some hard bars, you know what I mean? Like
sure.
Not anyone, but most talented MCs can come with bars, but it takes someone special to create a melody. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Like that is very uncommon to have both of those. Really well. And I think that is a big part of Drake's success. Is that, when he came up and he was doing those mixtapes, he not only could write 16s that like the hip hop guys could get into, but then wrote ridiculous hooks that like the girls could get into.
Best of both worlds.
And you got the best of both worlds and had like sick producers. And then it's like, boom, there's like all the stars are aligning and you get this like this incredible thing.
Mega come up. Like, literally the keys to the kingdom, that guy, man. Like,
so good. Historically, some of the other people that I can think of with a similar formula are people like 50 Cent, People forget, before Get Rich or Die Trying, 50 Cent was like an MC. Power of the Dollar and some of those earlier albums before he signed with Dre, like those are good albums. He's got bars, but then he blew up once he started putting the hooks with it.
It's all like, I have a lot of homeboys that like I send my music to before like I release it just to get some sort of feedback, right? And I don't know. I have different friends. Like I have friends that are really with like the hard bar shit, and then I have friends that are all about the hooks and the melodies. So like I sort of even it out, and I send like what I think they'll like to them to see. Yeah. Like if I like write a hookup, and I don't know if it's too catchy or not, I'll send it to my homeboy, and he'll be like, "Yo, man, like that's a hit. Like you gotta get in there and do this, right?" Like so,
yeah. Feedback is super important. Having people you trust and people with a good musical ear, but also people that are just totally neutral. Like my secret weapon is my wife.
Yeah, because she'll be brutally honest, right?
A, she'll be brutally honest with me, but B, she doesn't really know a lot about music. She doesn't know, like she never played an instrument.
She's not really influenced.
No, right? Not influenced and not swayed one way or the other. So she'll just tell me like, if this was something you heard on the radio, what would you think about it?
Yeah.
And she'll tell me what she thinks about it.
Yeah,
And
because
it's
she's
like,
literally just hearing it as music. She's not influenced in either way, right?
exactly. She can't hear it as an engineer's brain or as a songwriter's brain.
Because I guess when you hear it, you're like dissecting it. You're like, oh, this sounds kind of off, or like this could have been higher. The tune could have been better on this.
It's so hard for me to just enjoy music as music. Like I don't know. I have to. My brain has to go. I wish I had like switches I could shut off, you know, and I could just like vibe out to an album. But
at the same time, that's what makes you a good engineer. I mean, when you're actually in the studio doing your job, then everything you're doing is to the best of your ability, right?
Oh yeah, and I've really like sharpened those skills over the year, and I work incredibly hard to, you know, to try and be as good as I can, to try and be my best and have that ear. But sometimes it gets in the way of just pure enjoyment. It's like a superpower that like, you know, that you can't control, like just randomly transforming into the Hulk. But I can't turn it on or off. It just comes out of nowhere. Like,
but I mean, that's a reason why like a lot of the times, like when I'm recording with you in the studio, I'll be like, what do you think? Like, how do you think this sounds? Like, how's this delivery? Do you think I could change it better? Like, right. Like, it makes you unique. Because I know that you're going to be honest with me because you're an engineer. Yeah. So you're going to know, like you've worked with tons of people, tons of big people too. So you know if something doesn't sound right and you know that someone else thinks it's not going to sound right, then you're going to tell me and we'll just run it again, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I can't, like Denton and I were talking about this last week because he was on the show and we were saying, you know, we can't just have like, what's the word? Like
OCD?
Not OCD, but I can't. It's like a conscience, and I can't. I have a guilty conscience, and I can't. Like even if it's, I can't lie. If I'm in the studio and something's just like not right, and I know that it's not right, and I know that by speaking up, I could help that person improve, or even if it's going to be difficult for them to hear it first. Yeah. If it's going to benefit the overall project, I'm not just going to sit there and like let it slide, and then they go home.
And they show it to their friends, and the friends are like secretly like, "Oh, this is trash, man! What the fuck?"
Like they were offbeat the whole time, and I never said anything. So,
like I don't know. Like when I first came here, like the first time I came here, I told you I had my whole album recorded at my home studio,
right?
And the setup wasn't that great, and I told you I was just gonna track all the vocals and get you to mix them all. And we played back, I think it was one of the tracks, and you're like, you got like an air conditioner running in the background or something? And I'm like, honestly, man, like I recorded this in the summer. There was probably fans going. There was all sorts of shit going, right? And it's like, if you wouldn't have told me that, and you would have just bit your tongue and, you know, took the money and mixed and whatever, it wouldn't have came out as clean. It wouldn't have been as good.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm really glad we did re-record it. Yeah. And it turned out awesome.
Ended up re-recording the whole project, right? Like,
but there's a lot of parts to that, you know, like I was just saying, like I feel like I have a responsibility to be honest with the artists and upfront, but B, I was also considering myself in that too, because mixing poorly recorded recordings is just a nightmare. Like,
and you're putting your name on it.
You spend 80% of the time trying to fix it before you can actually start making it sound cool and blending everything. So it's just like, and I didn't want to do that. So that's why I told you.
That's why like you're a really patient engineer too. Like when we're mixing and like you're like, man, you fucking breathe really heavy. Like you're cutting out all the little breaths. And I'm like,
that's part of my OCD of just having the engineer's ear all the time.
I don't know. I mean, like I can't be like as truthful sometimes. Like I want to be, but in this industry, it's hard because like there's a lot of shit. There's a lot of artists that I see that I think are just fucking trash, man. Like, like I listen to it and I'm like, man, like I don't know, like what do you like? How does no one tell you what this sounds like? Like, you know, like even like not even the bars all the time. Like a lot of it's like the mixing and the mastering and the recording. I can like someone puts their stuff out on Spotify and I'm listening to it and I'm listening and I'm like, this doesn't. I can barely hear you over the beat. Yeah, and you've taken the time and put it out on a platform.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I can't enjoy it like I want to. So I can't really give you an honest opinion, right? Like,
there's too much stuff interfering with me actually connecting with the music here. There's a lot of pieces, man, involved in.
But like, how do you go about that? How do you tell that artist, like, you know, like, yo, where do you record at? Because like, this doesn't sound good. You know what I mean? Like, how do you can't, because they're just going to take offense to it right away. And I'm not talking about their craft. I'm not talking about them as an artist. I'm talking about how much money they put into their production.
Just yeah, exactly. Nothing creative at all. We're talking just like the integrity of the quality and of the product at the end of the day. Like, it's unfortunate that gets overlooked nowadays, just because I think it's too easy to make music and release it. It's way too easy.
I think it's too easy for people to call themselves an engineer now. I don't think a lot of people go to school like they should.
Yeah.
And they just sort of, like, I have a basement, let's throw something together. And, I'm pretty good at mixing. Like, back in my early stages, like, before my studio album and everything, like, I had a buddy that I came up with, and he just YouTubed everything and, like, made, like, presets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it didn't sound the cleanest, but it was something, right?
Yep.
But, like, I don't know, I'd never release that on a streaming platform like Spotify or Apple Music. That would be, like, mixtape stuff, like
sure, yeah. Like you said it well there. Like, YouTube, it gives people a ridiculous amount of information and resources that they would otherwise have to have like interned for, or like gone to school for, or just like straight up just like struggled for years learning themselves. And now some dude who, I don't know if he went to school, I don't know where he works, it could just be a dude, but he's like putting out videos being like, yo, this is how to do it. And another guy's being like, yo, this is how to do it. It's like, well, we all want a clean sounding record at the end of the day. Like, all of these bits and pieces of information are helpful, but there's no one rule. And it's good and bad. Like,
the thing is, like, when I go to an engineer, like, I don't know, I feel like, because a lot of the people that are coming up out of the city now are a lot of younger kids, and I don't feel like they look into it. Like, they don't, like, say, like, oh, like, did you go to school, or, like, how do you know how to mix? Like, when I'm paying someone for their service, I want to know that, like you went to Nimbus, and you know what I mean? You got good grades, and, like, you were good at what you do, right? I don't know.
It's the learning the fundamentals is ridiculously important. Like, it's that's a big thing that's not covered on YouTube, and with access to, like, the plugins that we can download now that come with presets, you could put the preset on and right away it sounds better than no preset, but you don't know how you got to that preset.
Exactly.
You don't actually understand the path that was taken and all the levels and the fundamentals, and that's when it gets dangerous, right? Because if something is really poorly done and you have to fix it, usually presets aren't for fixing, they're just for enhancing. And so it's only half of the battle.
Well, like, when I came here and we mixed, like, my album up, it was like a 10-hour session. And, like, you were just whipping through it. Like, I couldn't even learn watching. Like, I was just, I didn't even know what you were doing. Like, I don't know how people can just watch videos on YouTube and be like, oh, okay, so this is how you do it and stuff. Like, I watched you for 10 hours and, like, I couldn't get a grip on it, man. Like,
I mean, well, you might have been able to keep up a bit more if you were an engineer yourself, or if you spent million hours in front of Logic and Pro Tools like I have.
I mean, I just don't think I'd have the patience for that. Like, I have, like, the ear for, like, when I know something doesn't sound right on my own songs, or like when I don't feel like I delivered hard enough. But, like, I don't know if I could, like, sit there and dissect everything like that. I don't have the patience for it.
No, it's not for everybody, man. It isn't. When I went to school, like, I heard some of the other students say things like, mixing stupid, or I hate mixing, and, like,
why are you here?
Like, well, what do you mean? Like, that just, like, would make my brain short circuit a little bit. Like, it's everything. It's like, that's why we're here, right? These are the skills we're supposed to be learning. But it's so important. And back to where we started with this, like, the people putting out music on SoundCloud, they're just hammering them out of the park, song after song after song. Maybe it took them 10 minutes to make and 5 minutes to mix and master.
Because they're trying to set a trend, right? They're trying to get that song that's going to take off. That really catchy, like, because that's how a lot of the people nowadays are coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm not saying, like, just for example, like Polo G, right? Like, I like him. He's a really good artist, but I never really heard of him until Pop Out came up. Like, show up at your party, snatch a chain, like, And then after that, I started listening to more of his album, and like he's actually a really talented artist.
Right.
And I don't know, like I think that's where a lot of my melodies were inspired from, was listening to people like that.
Nice.
So
yeah, it's so underappreciated. So many times I'll find like a song that I really like, and I'll be like, why is it missing something? Like this beat's dope, this snare is fat as hell, and like the guy's, bars are tight, singing great, but it's because it doesn't have a hook. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, that's what was missing.
It's just rambled.
It's just a continuous ramble of like this one frequency, but there's no dynamics. It doesn't go up, doesn't take you on a journey.
Yeah. There's no like change in tone or pitch.
Yeah. So like that's everything, man. Like, the most famous bands and songs ever are just ones that we all sing along to. Mm-hmm. Like the Beatles' catalog. Like they're catchy, fun songs that you can't not sing with it.
I mean, that's a big part of music, is being able to feel and connect to it, right?
Yeah.
Like me myself, like I think I can be such like, I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, but like such a like different styles, like because I can go like hard, or like I can do like soft, or I can do like catchy.
Right.
And it says I don't just listen to this mainstream rap all the time. Like I listen to rap, I listen to country, I listen to rock, like I listen to everything. I try to like enhance, you know what I mean? Like flows, I hear flows in country songs, and I'm like, how can I like turn this into some sort of like a rap song? You know what I mean? Like kind of like mimic it, but not to the point where people are like, yo, what the fuck? This guy's fucking country singing. Yeah.
But it's, you're drawing inspiration from other places.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just, trap.
Exactly.
Over and over.
Not just Main Street fucking
yeah, no, that's really cool, man. I spent a lot of time listening to other stuff as well, like I listen to more not hip hop than hip hop. Honestly, like I really like R&B.
R&B is really good. Yeah,
I really like Daniel Caesar, who's Canadian, who's nominated for a bunch of Junos. Like,
oh yeah,
wicked, like neo soul stuff like that. People like Bryson Tiller, where it's like trap beats, but he sings on it, like that kind of shit. I love that.
Diversifies it, right?
Yeah, kind of mixing it up the way like D'Angelo used to do. It would be like a hip hoppy beat, and he'd have like Method Man and Redman on there, but he'd be like swagging it out and singing, and you're like, oh, this is a really cool combination of like peanut butter and chocolate, like
like I love that shit. Like I love a song that like I can put it on and it completely blows me away. Like it's nothing what I was expecting. Like, you know what I mean? Like you listen to it and it's like Bryson Tiller, he'll be like going on it and then he'll break into like a singing R&B kind of thing. Like it's like, oh, I don't know, man, it's just something about it that's like, it just makes it feel like fresh.
It's exactly, it's fresh. It's like a new recipe. It's like we like this and we like this, but let's put them together and make it a whole new thing. So, the more that we can, that's why we're here, isn't it? Just to be creative and to try things that haven't been done. Like,
I mean, like when I started rapping, even like up until like I started coming here, like I was really against like auto-tune. Like I didn't want to use auto-tunes on my song. I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be like Lil Wayne. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to. Because I hate it when people overdo the auto-tune. You know what I mean? And you can just hear like the electronic. And, I started messing with it a little bit here. And like, if you can use it properly, it sounds nice. You know what I mean? It's not, as long as you're not overusing it.
Right.
And that's something that like, it makes it unique. Like,
if you can use it as an instrument and not as a crutch.
Yeah, like you don't rely on it. But like, you can use it to help better what you already have.
Yeah. Because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's not like, it's no different than putting like distortion or reverb or a delay. Like it's a sound, it's an effect. But it's become not that. It has become like, oh, put auto-tune on me because I need it. Like it's my life jacket. I'm gonna fucking sink if you don't put auto-tune on
drown.
Me. That's what it's become more so than not. And that's but that's just like where music's at right now. And
it sells, right? A lot of it sells.
I
mean, everyone has a niche. Everyone has something they like. Some people like that, right? But
and some people have no problem with it, and then some people, as soon as they hear it, they turn the song off.
Exactly. I don't know if I can listen to an artist and like I've never heard what you sound like, and all I've ever heard is you like overdoing auto-tune, I'm not gonna listen to you because I don't know. Like if you can't even come with bars, you're just like auto-tuning all like melodies and shit. Like I don't want to listen to that. Like it's just it sounds the same over and over in my head.
Sure. Yeah. You know, we're sensitive creatures, man, human beings, and we can, you know, we all have a bullshit meter.
Yeah.
we can detect that shit.
It takes so much.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing this now, Porter?
I don't even know. I've been doing this since I was in grade 9. So I've been doing this since like 2009, 2008. It was never really serious at first. I mean, it was sort of like in high school, like, you know, like I had friends, but like I wasn't really like the popular kid, you know? And I moved in, so right out of elementary school, I moved into like this new neighborhood out of like my school's catchment. So like I was going to a different school with no one. Like I knew no one.
Okay.
I was like brand new to this school. And so like the first couple weeks, like I was kind of just like a loner. I didn't really have friends, you know. I just did my work and went home. I lived like 2 minutes from the school. And my neighbor that lived beside me he became one of my friends later. Yeah. He was one of the more popular kids at school, you know. He hung out with like all the brown guys and stuff like that. He was a brown guy himself. His name was Jason Miser. Okay. And so I sort of fell in with them. And it was just like basketball every day playing basketball out in the street, right? And I remember one day it was just me and him. And this was like in grade 9 now, so I'd known him for like a year. And we shot the ball and it hit the fence and it popped.
The ball popped?
Yeah, it just popped. Like it was still like midday. We used to play till the sun went down, right? Yeah. And so we just sort of sat there on like his iPhone and we just started messing around, just recording, like spitting random shit. Okay. And then the next day he called me over to his house because I live right next to him. I go over there and this guy has like, I don't even know what program it was. It must have been like NCH or something like that. Like, or I don't even know, FL maybe. Yeah. And it was just like a mic, like a performance mic, and it had a sock on it. And he's like, "Oh, like we're gonna make some music." And I'm like, "All right." So we started doing that, and like we put it out, and it was garbage. But at the time, all of our friends were like, "Oh man, this is like great!" Like, sure. You know what I mean? And so then we moved up a bit, and we got like it wasn't a mic like a better mic like this. It was still like a fucking shitty mic. But he took like one of his mom's pantyhose and like wrapped it around a coat hanger as like a pop screen. And,
Oh yeah.
So we were going like we were doing it, and like I don't know, it's just something that I just right away I felt good about it. Like it was just it was like an outlet for me. Yep. Able to tell like how I feel, how I felt, and that kind of thing, right? And from there, like I sort of like I never really took it seriously at first. Like it was like a hobby. Yeah. And like I'm like, for me, like my biggest like thing against me is I'm such a procrastinator. Like I used to make like songs and I'd sit on them and I wouldn't mix them or anything. And I'd listen to them and I'd dissect them and think everything right. And then by the time I wanted to put it out, like it was old to me. Like I'd grew out of it. I was already writing something better. Yeah. And I had my homeboy, and he was like putting out like 50 song mixtapes, like 50 songs, like nothing. He was like remixing every song he could. And I don't know, I just never really put it out. And then I just decided to start taking it serious one day, and I released a mixtape. It wasn't the greatest. And then I've been working on my album, right? And then I recorded it at home over the process of like a year. Okay. And then I came here one day to do a feature with my homeboy. Yeah. And I showed you it, and you were like, "Oh man, this kind of sounds like shit." So I was like, you know what? Let's just fucking redo it. If I'm gonna do this, if I'm gonna shoot my shot, I'm gonna do it right, and I'm gonna make it sound clean. I'm gonna invest in it, right?
Yeah, like it's your big first impression. Yeah. You know, like a proper studio album as opposed to like you said before, the recording with pantyhose and with ceiling fans and refrigerators in the room, and doing it for fun over mixtape beats that are previously released beats or whatever. Yeah, and you went and no, I think you did exceptional. You went and you followed all the steps, man. You went and got beats. You got you hit up all the producers and
it was weird though, because like on all my mixtapes, like they were all just like free beats, right? Like whatever, like.
Right.
This is like my first studio album where like I had to like pay for every beat and pay for every minute of recording and every minute of mastering. Like I put a lot into this project, right? And so it felt good. It was sort of like an accomplishment when I finally finished it and put it out. I was like, yeah. And like my friend, like not even just friends, like I've had tons of people that love it, right? Like they're like, oh, like I never knew. Like, well, like I'm trying to build now. I'm trying to build up from here.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. So you just came upon music as a little bit of an accident, but then realized like, hey, I kind of want to keep doing this. Like, this doesn't feel like work. This doesn't feel like a chore.
Like
this
fun.
is actually a bit of like therapy for me. It's fun. You get together with your friends, go to each other's places, write songs together, do the recording. Like
even now, like I don't party. I don't go out clubbing. I don't do that kind of shit. Like I'd rather come to the studio and be in a studio session all night than go out and drink. Like I don't know. It's just something about being in a studio and like putting what I have and what I love to do into a format where other people can enjoy it. That's what I like.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's like it's like being on a vacation, but you're working a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you like it and you love being here and this is the environment you want, but there's also work happening.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a unique.
So it's like you're hanging
position.
out, but you're being productive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what it is. Yeah. No, that's really cool. My story is very similar to that, like recording with friends, and it was actually my cousin who got me into hip hop, like, back in probably grade 8, something like that. And we just recorded in his basement, had so it was like some stolen like Fabulous or G-Unit beats or something like that, and just got the MP3s and just like wrote songs, and then we'd like I have no clue what program it was. He was the engineer, quote unquote, back then. I wasn't the engineer.
You're the talent.
He was the one who owned the computer, so by default, he was the engineer.
Yeah.
This is back when a computer was like a tower, and then the big cube,
the big square monitor.
The monitor, and the microphone was like this plastic. It looked like a long pencil or like a straw, and it had like a little stand. It was like a secretary's microphone or something. Oh man, and
coming out the fucking slums.
Oh man, and we recorded songs like a bunch that way, in his basement, and then we'd like send them to girls on MSN back when MSN was a thing. Oh my
sign
God.
off, sign on.
Yeah. It just. Yeah, try and impress the girls on MSN. That was what we were doing, and like initially, and then we'd start showing our friends and take them to school and be like, "Yo, look what I did this weekend," and be like, "Whoa, you made a rap song!" Like
I really like the hype. Like that's what I loved about it. I love the hype. I liked how like you built a name for yourself.
Yeah.
People would see you and they'd be like, "Oh, like you made that song." Be like, "Yeah," even though it was like garbage back then. You know what I mean? Like I see these kids that are young, like in high school, coming out right now.
Yeah.
And like they got a buzz, like they got like like 10, 20,000 views, like 30,000 views, like a buzz. And it's like I wish that like back in the day when I was in high school and I could have got that big of a buzz behind me just by being in high school, I would have put the time and effort I have now into it and the money that I have now into it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
This new generation is has a massive head start on us, like just with the power of the social media and
it's
the internet.
So easy for them to trend set with what's already out. Like
like back then that's all. I don't even know if Facebook was out yet when I was releasing these songs. Like I said, it was just social media was MSN, and then you would like steal beats off of Kazaa or LimeWire or something like that.
Exactly. And it's like they got such a head start. They have all these marketing platforms now, and they have like you can pay marketing, right? Yeah. Like it's just crazy. Like I wish I had that at my disposal when I started my music career. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But we spent that time refining other skills, I guess, what I mean? I think like
growing as a person,
and and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's easy to get, I sound like kids these days, like, but I don't know, like, there's nothing wrong with it. We have to embrace it, really. Like,
use it to your benefit.
Use it to your benefit.
So I'm not gonna lie, like, more and more lately, I've been leaning towards like working with some of these younger kids, right? Because like, if you can get a buzz off, if you can build with each other, why not? Like, I don't understand why no one in this music scene in Vancouver helps each other. Like, why is everyone clashing just to get to the top? Like, if we work together in this city, it would be endless, the results.
Oh, dude, like, that's exactly my whole philosophy.
Yeah.
And like, that's why I wanted to start doing this podcast. Exactly. Like that exact thing you just said. So, no, because we can actually learn from this new generation, and we all can collaborate. We all have things that we can teach each other and help each other with, and share each other's music. And it's just like, no one's made it yet, so it's like, why are we trying to step on each other's toes and one up each other? We're all in the same playing field right now.
But it's because everyone listens to these people that have made it, and in their verses they're like, oh, like 500 for a verse, 10,000 for a show. So now they immediately have this like, well, I'm worth this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how come I'm not worth anything? How come I gotta work for free? Like, you're not working for free, you're building. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, we're all building. We're all doing favors at this point. Like, nobody's getting what they're worth. And, unless you're like fucking Rick Rubin or something.
Yeah, like, you're not gonna ever make it in the industry unless you build relationships with people.
You have to like, shovel some shit, kiss some ass a little bit, do favors, politic, and build communities, build relationships. Like, that's what it's all about, man. So I'm so glad that you see it that way. Because like, that's something that I try and bring up every show, every episode, to try and reinforce that idea. And everyone that's here, we're all in Vancouver together, we're all coming up. And I've said this 1,000 times already, but it's like, once one of us makes it, it'll put Vancouver on the map. Like,
it'll be a spotlight.
It'll be a spotlight. Like, when Drake blew up, everybody from Toronto is now coming up.
Yeah.
There's a new
That's what I mean. Once one of us, it just takes one of us to make it out of here. And once that spotlight hits our city, I say this to everyone that I talk to about this. Yeah. Once the spotlight's on our city, the possibilities are endless.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's the best time to start. Like, if you have like a solid foundation built, by the time that time comes around, then you'll be set. All you'll have to do is market your things better, right?
Hell yeah. And people that are like, be humble. People acknowledge that certain people are ahead of you, and acknowledge that they have a bigger fan base. They worked for it, but help put them on, because they're that much further ahead of you, and they're gonna make it. If they make it, then we're all coming with them.
And plus, you don't want to be known as that guy. Like I know there's lots of people that have like a bigger following than me, and like they've been in the game longer, and like, I'll hit them up to work and do collabs, and like some people are like, oh, like 1,500 for a verse kind of thing. But like, there's other people that I've talked to that are like, like, I don't really like selling verses. Like, I don't really do that. I don't like that. He's like, send me what you want to do. If you have an idea, like, send me what you got. Yeah. And then we'll see where it goes. That's the kind of stuff I like, because then it makes me feel like the person isn't shallow. Like, that's someone I want to work with. Like, the person that tells me, oh, 1,500 for a verse, I don't want to work with you.
No.
Why am I paying you $1,500 because you have fucking 1,000 more followers than me?
That were probably bought.
Like, I just don't understand it. Some people, I understand paying for features. Like, I understand, like, some people like pay their rent with it, right? Like, it's a job for them.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of people in the city, I think, are overpriced. They're overpricing themselves. Like, I'd be way more willing to work with someone if they were like, like, pay for this. Like, that's what I do with my features. All my features I do, whether they're paid, like, I don't really pay for features, but if I'm working with someone and it's for my song, I'm going to pay for the studio time. I'm going to pay for the beat. I'm gonna pay if you want to split a video, that's cool.
Yeah.
But like if I'm getting you on something, I'll supply everything you need to do it. All you got to do is show up and spit what you have.
Yeah.
Right?
No, and that's such a great attitude.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't think I'd ever charge someone to work right now, because either A, if I don't fuck with you and I don't like the music you make, I'm just not going to work with you. It doesn't matter what you could pay me $1,000. I'm not going to do a song with you.
So you're not concerned about increasing your status just for getting somebody on the song if you don't mess with their music.
Yeah, no. Because
ultimately, it's about the art, or it's about the.
Because like I mean, like, sure, I could do a song with someone. Say they have 3,000 followers, 4,000 followers.
Yeah.
And say I have whatever I have, right? If I do a song with someone that my followers don't like, they're gonna be like, "You're selling out. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you making like?" Because I'm all my music. I talk about how like I'm in this for the money.
Yeah.
But like I'm in this for the long run money.
Yeah.
Like I'm not in this for fame or clout. Like I just want to be wealthy.
Yeah.
I just want to be well off, and especially in this city, like it's so hard to get ahead. It's so hard to live.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So that is the big picture for you, though. Hey, like,
yeah, like
you want to be doing this full time then?
Yeah, that would be ideal. I mean, like, it's hard because like I gotta pay bills. I got rent. I got everything, right. So like I have to have a job.
Yeah.
But like all my spare time and all my extra money goes into this craft in hopes of one day when that spotlight comes, that I'm ready.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. That's so inspiring, dude. For younger people. People coming up, people thinking about getting into this. You're such a good example because you treat this like a professional.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you realize that money has to be invested into this to get ahead, to get a good product, to put yourself out there with your best foot forward. Like, you know, you're ticking off all the boxes, man. And I see so many people coming through here and in the city, or people that I've met in the past, and that don't see it that way, and it's really frustrating.
I mean, like I hate it when people are doing this for clout. When people are chasing clout, like when they're just in it for the name.
Well, it seems like
buzz.
Lately, like being a rapper, quote unquote, is like the cool thing to do now.
Everyone's trying to be
and
a
it's
rapper.
Like, why are you doing? Like, what is your real motivation behind this? Is like you said, is it clout? Is it just to floss on Instagram? And like what, is that what it's all about at the end of the day?
Like right now, if I wanted to, I could go and I could buy followers. I could have 20,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
I could pay for views on all my videos. I could have 20,000 views. I could have 20,000 streams. You can buy everything.
Oh yeah.
Right. But who's gonna believe that?
Mm-hmm.
These kids that are chasing clout. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I find it more realistic when people look on my page and see like I've only released one studio album. I've done a few videos. I got like 500 followers.
Mm-hmm.
And those are real followers.
Those are organic people that are fucking with you.
Yeah. And it's like, I'd rather work with someone like that than with someone who I can look and see that you have 20,000 followers, but your YouTube videos get 1,000 views. Like,
well, there's no longevity in that.
Yeah.
And it might seem cool now, and it's you know, it's like, wow, look at this person, but dude, the fucking rug's gonna be pulled from under them real fast, and they're gonna be exposed. And
people pay to look famous.
Crash and burn real damn quick.
People pay to look famous.
Oh yeah. Well, you've got people like people are literally Instagram celebrities. Like you're famous for being famous.
Yeah.
You're like that Dan Bilzerian character. He's like, he used to be a poker player, but like, what does he do now? He's just he's just famous.
He's an influencer. You know what I mean?
That's all he is.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, like is that who we're looking up to? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely don't like fucking with people who are in this for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's got a right to be doing this. I'm not one to say someone like, oh, you can't rap. Like, if you want to go and give it your all, give it your all.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, I don't know. There's some things that I just don't like listening to. And if I don't like listening to it, I think a majority of people aren't going to like listening to it. Like, I don't know. It's definitely a hard, this industry is a hard industry.
Yeah.
It's an expensive industry and it's a hard industry.
Yeah. Well, we've heard it so many times, you know, how the music industry is just so poisonous and cutthroat, and just, it's a business, right? It's just about people trying to make money off of other people. It's like fight promoters, you know, that are just leeching off of the fighter.
Yeah.
And they're, you know, who did we really come to see here?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
They build this hype up between them.
Yeah.
This conflict.
Those people are necessary, and like definitely have a publicist if you can afford it, and definitely have the right person for the right job if you know, don't try and do everything yourself. But yeah, it's you really got to watch your back. You really got to know who to trust and keep a tight circle of people you can trust.
You got to have a good team.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I have a decent team. Like, I have my brother, actually. He overlooks all of my accounts, my Instagrams.
Oh, nice.
He monitors the email. You know, he's pretty much my manager. He stays active, right? And anything I do, like if I do something stupid on like Instagram, like someone's beefing me over something and I say something, he'll be like, yo, what are you doing? Like, delete that right now. Like, you got to think about the future. You know what I mean? Like, what about in the future if, like, say, not blow up, but like you start getting a decent buzz and people come back and they look at what you're saying to this person who's commenting on your photos, it's going to bite you in the ass, right? Dude. So like you really got to be careful with social media because that shit never goes away.
It doesn't. And like, look what's happened in the last couple of years. Like, people dig up tweets that are like 2 years old and like try and ruin someone's career off of some shit they said like years ago.
Before they were famous.
Like, what are we doing here, man?
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Like, and like if you look at celebrities, like I look at celebrity rappers and like a lot of them aren't happy, man. Like the fame, it gets to them, whether it's with drugs or just like the peer pressure. Like, have you listened to MGK at all?
Sure. Yeah.
His new album, Hotel Diablo, I think it's called. It's literally a whole album just about how fame has fucked his life up.
Wow.
That's literally what it is. Like every song is just depressing as fuck. But it's like you see him on Instagram and he's like that rock star rapper that's always like mosh pitting and like jumping off the stage and shit. He looks like he's having fun, but somewhere along the line he lost himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's getting to him now, the life.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to be famous without the fame. You know what I mean?
It's an interesting thing. Like when we're making this art and we think big picture and we think what could I become? How big can I go? How far can I take this? Like, yes, we want nice things. We want money in the bank account. We want to be able to go on vacations. We want people to like us, but do you want to be so famous where it's like interfering with your well-being? And then what's the point? When you're so famous that it's like
you can't go outside.
You can't go outside. Everyone's trying to destroy you because they're jealous. Like I think about, you know, like some of the top guys out there, like how stressful that must be.
I think like the biggest downfall I've ever seen, honestly, is 6ix9ine's downfall.
Yeah. Like, oh my goodness.
He made it out. You know what I mean? He came up. Yeah, sure, he might have been in the wrong ways, provoking people and shit like that. He was smart. It was smart business. But in the end, he was trying to play gangster, right?
Yeah.
And it caught up to him because he was with real gangsters. And now he's fucked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. That's why like I don't pretend. I don't play like, because shit that he did back in the day. Yeah. It came back to bite him in the ass when he started getting famous, like with that little girl or whatever that happened, his pedophilia charge. Like that happened way before he was famous, right? And it came back because everyone wants a piece of the pie. Yeah. Right? Everyone's going to come after you as soon as you start getting any sort of clout.
Oh, yeah. They want, exactly. They want, everyone has motives and they have an angle and they're going to try and get a piece, or then there's the jealousy thing. Like, oh, how can I just, people, there's a whole culture right now of like wanting to destroy careers, which is so strange. Like people get outraged online and they're like, it's cancel culture, I've heard, is a term it's being used for it. But it's just like people are losing their jobs. They're getting taken off of TV shows. They're not getting to host the Oscars because of something they said. It's just like, ruin them. Just makes me think of like the medieval times when they would like be like
stone
the
them
villagers
to
would be like, hang them, you know, stone them. Like, oh my, like she's a witch. Like,
yeah, like I don't know, man.
We haven't really evolved past that, or else we're like coming full circle almost.
They just added Instagram and Facebook to it now. It's just that's all it is. Makes it easier to get dirt on people. That's all it is, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just magnifies everything.
Yeah.
Nothing. No one is safe. Nothing you say or do or is safe anymore. Like, it's all out there for millions of people who, you know, who have opinions that are not valid, that they're expressing. Get to have opinions for the first time in history. And
I mean, like, I'm not one to like just like want to keep my life private from my music, right? Because in my music, I talk about a lot of my traumas that I've gone through. It's like an outlet for me, and it helps. Honestly, that's the best kind of music, is when it's based on something true.
Oh, 100%.
When it's not just like hyping, like, oh, I got all this money and I got all these chains and I'm fucking sick. But when you're talking about fucking something that's actually happened to you.
Hell yeah, dude.
And you can turn it into a story, melody kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's the best kind of music.
Absolutely. That's the music that like writes itself usually sometimes. It's not, it's like, if you're just storytelling at the end of the day. You're storytelling with a little bit of, you know, spice in there, maybe embellishing it a little bit. But
it's so sad that that's not what sells nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, that's like the real music, and like something way different, like the money, drugs, cars thing sells. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like, it helps when you come out of a poverty city. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of these guys come out of like LA, or, you know what I mean? Like the slums kind of thing. But like, I don't know, everyone sees Vancouver as like a rich, preppy sort of city because one of the most expensive city to live in the world.
In the world, yeah.
But like, we do have slums and we do have like projects, you know what I mean? Like, it's a real thing here. It's not just gone because we're like an inexpensive city. Like, I feel like when you say you're from Vancouver, no one takes you serious. Because it's like, okay, you're rich.
Maybe if they're from, you know, Edmonton or something, or
even like somewhere like Chicago or something. Like I know I have connects all over the place, right? Like, people I know, I talk to, and they're like, when I first meet them, they're like, "Oh, you're rich. Like, you live in Vancouver, man." I'm like, "Yeah."
You have no clue.
You know what $1 million gets you here? A fucking crack house. That's what $1 million gets you. It's crazy.
I wonder what, like, you know, what Vancouver culture is. You know, when you think about hip hop, you think about New York, and you think about, you know, LA has like its own, you think about like the palm trees and the beaches and the cars and the styles, and, you know, the East Coast has got its thing, and Atlanta's got its thing, you know, down south, they got their thing. And it's like, but when someone does blow up from Vancouver, like, what's it going to look like? What are we going to be proud of? What are we going to be talking about and showing off? Like the mountains? Like,
I don't even know. You know, I can't even tell you. Like,
is it part of the history of? Is it like Chinatown? Is it like?
I feel like a big part of it, when Vancouver gets noticed, everyone's gonna see like downtown. You know what I mean? Like Gastown, shit like that.
Yeah.
But people need to see they need to see like East Van. And they need to see the city as a whole, and not just the glamour. You know what I mean? Like, you can go to New York and you can see Manhattan. Yeah. You can see the good stuff.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But are you going to go to Harlem, or are you going to go to Queens? Yeah. You know what I mean? You're going to to experience it, you got to see it all.
Yeah. But yeah, no, for sure. But to expand on that a little, like the Harlems and the Brooklyns and the Queens and all that, like, has been glamorized by hip hop. Like, it's become cool to shoot a video in front of the projects and have the basketball court there and guys drinking 40s on the park bench.
That sort of gives you an understanding of what it's like in that city, though, because this rapper is talking about where he came from, and how he came up and what his conditions were. So I guess it all depends on who blows up out of Vancouver to give them that first image. You know what I mean?
As long as they're speaking their truth, you know, you know, tell your story. And I guess it'll just be, hopefully it just is real. It's just, I don't know. I frankly don't care where they're from and their social status or race or background, but like, tell your story, tell your Vancouver story, tell, you know, and let's all get behind you.
Exactly.
And I'm curious to see what it's going to be like, who it's going to be, and what that that tale will be.
I have a good idea of who the first person out of the city will be.
Ooh, tell me.
Honestly, I think they've already got a pretty big following, but I think the first person to actually blow up out of the city, well, they originated out of the city, is probably Mercules.
Okay.
Heard of Mercules? He has a good following. He's real hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think he's gonna be the one. Like, he lives out of Calgary, but he's from Surrey.
Okay.
You know, he's a Surrey guy.
Right.
And I don't know. I feel like if anyone blows up first, it'll probably be him.
He's closer than most. Closer than most at this point. I'm familiar with Mercules. I used to work for Hip Hop Canada. I reviewed a few of his albums, so I listened very closely to his music, like numerous times. And it was cool watching him evolve, like album to album, and get better, and hearing the production get better, and all of that. And like, yeah, he's one of those guys for me that like checks off all the boxes, right?
Well, the thing about him too is like, he's not fake. Like, he's been about the community from the start. Like, I knew him back when like he was Suitable Ties with like Prada West and Confidential.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And like, they used, like, I was just coming up in rapping, and they used to hold contests where like you could remix. They'd give you 3 beats and you could remix it. Okay. And they'd pick like and make a video with it, a little video.
Yeah. And
they'd pick the top 10, and they'd give you prize packs, whether it was T-shirts or effing stuff like that.
Right.
But it was something, right? It shows that he cares about the upcoming.
That's so cool. Building a community, getting everybody involved. That's so great. He's a pioneer, dude. Like, for sure, in that community, and has a big following, and that'd be wicked to see him blow up. Like, if he gets,
it'd be
big
good.
If he gets big in the States, that's the next level. Like, he's gotta be on the radio in the States and chart there, and then people will be talking about, oh, who's this new guy from Canada?
Yeah, well, if I'm not mistaken, like he did. I'm not sure. Not too long ago, he did a American tour.
Yeah,
and he was on Sway Shade 45, Sway in the Morning.
I did not know that.
Like, he's progressing, right? And like most of his tours I see are like Canada and like Australia, New Zealand, that kind of thing, right? Like Europe.
Yeah,
I think like he started being really big in Europe. But like, I hope for our city's sake that it's someone like him who cares about the community that comes up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And who's telling stories.
Yeah,
his music is very
good music.
It's good music. It's like we've been talking about this whole time. He's speaking his truth. He's telling stories about personal experiences, and you can like totally hear that in the music when you're listening. You're like, oh, this shit's not made up. Like, it's his life. It's his life, and you can't not respect that. Like, that's just so dope. So yeah, shout out to Mercules, man. Like, we're totally rooting for him. Yeah, 100%.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
I mean, in my mind, like, he's at a good level. Like, music pays for his life. Like, he has a house.
Yeah, right.
He bankrolls his mom. His mom's like his accountant. You know what I mean? Like, music pays his bills, and that is making it for me.
Yeah.
If music can pay for your bills solely and your lifestyle, then you've made it. You don't need millions of dollars.
No. That's when you're loving what you do, man.
Yeah.
But you can just like have your lifestyle, but you don't have to go to a job. You get to go to a job.
Yeah. Like, every day is your job. It's just something you like doing.
I hang out in the studio.
Yeah.
And we record and write songs.
Yeah, exactly.
I get to do shows and connect with my fans.
Go on tour. Like,
yeah. I don't need 4 cars. I just need one nice car, and I need groceries. And if I can do that and make music, like, boom.
Make sure my mom doesn't have to work some dead ass job her whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, get the people you love living comfortably. That's pretty much it.
Hell yeah. Yeah. And
I mean, like, that's like the fundamentals of like my label entertainment group that like I funded is like Whip Entertainment, right? It stands for like, without hustle, it's pointless.
Okay, sick.
So like,
I like that.
That's like my motto. If you're not really trying and you're not really grinding, what are you doing? Why are you doing this?
Yeah. Put the work in, man, and be passionate about something, right? Like, believe in it, but give it 100%. go all in. And I think you're an example of that.
Yeah.
Like you really live that.
Yeah.
Because I've got to know you now, working with you in the studio a whole bunch, and I can see that. Like, so you're speaking. You're not just saying that; you're living it.
And
through your actions.
There's lots of other there's lots of other groups in this city that showcase culture, like Scody, the guy I come with here all the time. We've grown pretty good friends over it sort of just started working as like a business relationship, and now it's like we're homies, and like I've gone to a couple shows with him, performed a few songs, and like the shows that we go to are like they're full of culture. They're like you'll go to the show and it'll be like there'll be music performances, there'll be dance performances, there'll be art shows, there'll be clothing pop-ups. It's like a culture thing. And I think it's Left Side. I think that's what the movement's called. Is Left Side. We are Left Side or something.
Okay.
But yeah, they got something going. Like they host like events at I don't even know what club it is, but it's a good time. It's something good to look forward to.
This is in Surrey or
in Vancouver?
In Vancouver.
Yeah, it's usually at I want to say it's at Fortune maybe.
Okay.
Not 100% though. But yeah, I mean, the one I went to was at like a furniture shop, like an old furniture shop.
Oh, dope.
And it was like a pop-up kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was pretty dope. It was it wasn't like really fancy, but it was like a good vibe feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
It was cool.
Yeah, just a whole bunch of creative people getting together
and like
kind of supporting each other.
Like we mentioned earlier, like the Dream It Creations guys, they host sort of the same thing. Like every, I think it's like one Monday a month. It's called like Melodic Mondays.
Okay.
And like it's the same thing. There's like art showcases, there's dancing and like that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's just a different kind of showcase because the artists that come through there, they're like R&B and they're all like I don't know. It's just cool to see other people in the city like supporting each other. So
I'm all about it.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm gonna look them up after this and try and reach out to them.
I think it's partnered with like
very cool.
It was like Baby Fresh Productions.
Okay. Do you like performing? Is that something that you've got a good grasp of now at this
Honestly,
point?
it's something that I've been really lacking. Like I need to get into the show circuit more. Because I was really just focusing on my album, putting all my time into that, right? Because I didn't have content to perform before that.
Sure.
And lately I've been thinking like, okay, like what song should I perform? Like how can I hype the crowd and get the crowd? That's a big thing is crowd interaction, right? Like you don't want to be standing on the stage and no one's moving or no one's talking, right? You want to get them involved in what you're doing.
You got to put on a show.
Yeah. Exactly.
You can't just stand there with the mic and have your beat playing. Like, there's more to it.
You got to give it what you got.
Yeah.
And I'm working on a few things. Like I'm working on an event myself. I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's sort of like a party, like a club party.
Okay.
I haven't got too much into it, so I don't want to. It's just like idea right now, but yeah. But like I want to start getting into shows. I got the hook up through Dream It. I might be getting like doing some Melodic Monday things like that.
Nice.
Scody's got good hookups too, so I mean I'm connected now to the point where I can get in the show circuit if I want. Right. It's just getting out there and knowing what I want to perform and how I'm going to interact with the crowd.
Yeah, it's really huge. We were talking about this quite a bit with another guest, James, and about how important it is to have a really strong live game, be really good on stage. It's one thing to put out dope albums, but the fans are going to want to see you in person eventually, right?
They want to see you turn up. They want to see you
turn up, and that's what they're going to be paying for. And if that is a big letdown, man, that's going to be heartbreaking.
They're paying for a performance.
Yes.
They want to see you perform.
Yes.
Like I've been thinking like songs that I did on the album. Like I want to do a song. Like I have songs. I'm trying to figure out a way where I can get the crowd to interact. Like where I can get them to sing a part of the song, what they don't know yet. You know what I mean? Or like really hype it. You know, like Scody's really good with hyping the crowd. Like the guy I don't even know. He's like he's just crazy at shows. Like he can hype them up like nothing.
Nice.
It just comes natural to some people, right? And that's something I got to work on. I gotta get my hype up. I gotta learn how to hype people up.
Yeah, practicing with with a little amp and an actual microphone like you would on stage, and incorporating like everything you would actually say at the show into your rehearsal, like addressing the crowd, mentioning the name of the city, things like that, and just getting really tight with that. As tight as you would like spitting your bars, but getting your live set polished.
Getting them
so
to feel
important.
you. You know what I mean?
Man.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, because everyone's going to be staring right at you, and every move you make is under a microscope, right?
What you do is going to determine if they go and look you up after the show.
100%.
You know what I mean? If I see someone who's fucking performing and they're all like standing still and I'm not like, yeah, you might have good music, but like,
you didn't move me.
Yeah, you didn't make me want to look you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, live, so important. So not to be overlooked. Tell me a little bit more about Whip Entertainment, though. Like, is this a label or is this like, how are you trying to expand it?
It's sort of like I started it as like a movement.
Yeah.
Everything I release is under Whip Entertainment.
Yeah.
Right. I sort of started it as like a record label kind of thing, hoping to scout like some other artists in the city, but like you talked about, everyone's sort of on their own thing. You know, no one really wants to work together. So I'm sort of using it more as like a crutch, I guess. Something to tie me to. So I have something behind me, like that's like my team.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if in the future, like with the events that I'm talking about that I want to do, like that's who will be hosting it is Whip Entertainment. So it's like a brand. I guess.
It's a brand, or like, you know, a production company almost.
Yeah.
If you start incorporating, you know, engineers and photographers and stuff all under one team, under one name.
Yeah, exactly.
Putting out a product for people. That's
building
really cool.
Building an image, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like,
it takes a lot of work though. It's not easy.
Yeah. I tried doing that when I was straight out of business school at Nimbus.
Yeah.
And I had what I thought was a production company. And I was just trying to get people together and be like a one-stop shop for artists. So they would like hire us, and like I'd record and mix it, and one person would do their album cover, one person would do the photos, one person would do the videos, and our team would take care of you.
Yeah.
You know, but
well, you kind of got that going here a bit. I mean,
we do, like by default. We never even planned it this way.
Yeah,
but,
it's kind of crazy how that happened.
With Jose and Natasha now here, everyone under one roof, we do have that, but we didn't plan it that way, which is really
crazy.
Cool. But it's really tough. It's like, you know, I've never been in a band, but it was what I imagined being in a band, like just like trying to get everyone together for band practice and scheduling everyone to have meetings and holding everybody accountable. And we had one or two people that were just, you know, the day we were supposed to do headshots for the website, photographer texts me like, yo, I just woke up covered in my own puke. I'm so sorry. It's just like, bro, you knew today was the
Today's the day.
Today was the video. Today was headshots for the website. What do you mean you woke up covered in puke? You're the fucking photographer, man. Like, you're the only one we got. So it's shit like that. And it was just like, man, this is just taking up too much of my time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not built to be like a CEO. I'm not built to be the Donald Trump. Like, I want to go get really good at engineering, and that's what I've done now.
Yeah.
So I tried it out. You know what I mean? Having a production company, but it's not for everybody. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm just, everyone has to be on the same level. You're only as good as the weakest link in the chain, and it's tough. You got to have a really good, you know, it's like a basketball team or any team. One player keeps fucking up in the finals,
you're gonna lose.
Doing, you know, turnovers, you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Even if you got LeBron and all the other guys there, one person's sinking the ship. So it's tough. It's really tough. So
yeah, I think that's like a big reason why like I moved away from like trying to run it as like a record label, just because like I don't know, it takes a lot. Like it's already pretty expensive just to fund myself.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like in the studio and stuff like that. Like let alone like, because when you sign someone, like you're supposed to give them something. They're supposed to gain something from representing you.
Yes.
Right?
Here's your advance.
Yeah. So it's like I sort of moved away from that, and I moved it into more of like a team Like it's like my team. So like any sort of merch I make, any sort of clothing I make, that's branded for Whip, right? It's just me in a whole, I guess. Like behind me, that's what I am, is Whip.
Yeah. So how many people are involved at this point?
I got me. I got my brother who manages it, manages it with me. All my close friends, they're all involved in a certain way, right? Whether it's support or like making music. I try to get them to get more into it. Like I want to like I'd like to be one of them to be like a producer, you know, start making beats, you know, because you need like the fundamentals in a group.
Yes.
Right. But yeah, it's basically just support. It's like all my close friends. Yeah. So
all with a similar vision, all kind of work towards one thing, you know.
And they'll tell me legit if they don't like something I make, right? Because they're in it with me. So it's like if I make a song, one of my homies will be like, "Oh, you know, this is dope," but like the other homie who doesn't like that kind of music, he'll be like, "Nah, I don't really like that. Like I don't like that kind of music. Like I'm more of like a hard kind of song." You know what I mean? But like. So it's good to have a variety, you know what I mean? Because when I make a hard-ass song, that's who I'm going to send it to, is that homie. Yeah. And he's going to tell me what he thinks. And if I make a soft song, I'm going to send it to the other guy and see what he thinks, right? That's probably like, because I'll send them songs separately, and they'll be like, oh, and you should just send it in like a group chat. Like, no, because I don't want you guys to know each other's opinions. I want to know what your opinion is of this and what his opinion is of this. Without
the influence of the other person. Yeah. No, that's smart. Yeah. So it sounds like you got a really good thing going there, man. Like what's the next, like, you know, you mentioned the one thing you didn't want to get into too much, but like, what's the next big move for Porter at this point? The album's out. You and I have been working on a single recently. Like you got a couple videos almost done. Like
I got some videos. I got a video that like we talked about earlier, the Wanna Know video. That's going to be like the first, I've had a few videos out, but they've been like the classic like rapper videos, you know, like in a car, in front of a building. This is like
the classic rapper video.
This is like my first like legit video where there was a casting call and there was actors and actresses involved. It's like a production, right?
Totally.
So I'm hoping like it gets more traction. I'm hoping it gets the traction it deserves. I'm gonna market it better.
Awesome. Yeah.
And I'm working with the single that we're working on. That's gonna be a smash. Like that's gonna be a hit. So like, I've really got to market. Like I gotta be smart with it. Like I gotta market the shit out of it, and I gotta market it properly. I had a meeting with Dream It Creations like a week ago with the feature artist Scody. Yeah. And we chopped up a whole idea for this dope ass video we're gonna do, and it's gonna be like a next level video. Like it's gonna be cool. So like, but the time, like they're pretty busy. Yeah. So it's like we wanted it to be like a summer smash, like a summer hit, but the video is not going to be ready for summer.
Yeah, summer's. I mean, it's already August now. So
yeah, I mean, the video will probably be we're shooting it this month.
Okay.
The video will probably be released. I'm guessing in September. So it's going to be more of like a fall hit, but we're going to release the single, like the actual track beforehand.
Okay. Yeah.
Sort of to get people into it and. You know, like, oh, you know, like we're shooting a video for it. And
perfect.
Like, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited to be a part of that too. Yeah. So
once the video came out really clean.
Yes.
Shout out everyone involved. Like even eWorld, the guy who hooked up the beat, like super talented. Like anyone hears the beat and they're like, damn, like that's a snazzy beat. Like it makes you feel like you're in it.
No, it's so musical. When he sent me the stems, I got to actually see all the different parts and stuff, and like the guitar and the piano. It's like, oh, this isn't. There's different categories for me in my head. There's like there's like a beat maker, and then there's like a producer, somebody that like understands music. And, I'll put him in that category, like for sure. He's got musical skills, musical talent, understands that like the theory. So super fun to be working on that.
And like it's crazy because like I told him like he created that beat and like sculpted it for me. Like I told him like the kind of beat I wanted. Like, you know, he's like, I'm like, you think you can make me a beat? Like,
oh no way.
I want like a club kind of upbeat.
Yeah.
But I want it to be like I sent him like a reference song, right? Like a song sort of similar. And I was expecting something, you know, like sometimes with producers it's hit or miss with me. Like they'll have some dope tracks that I love, and then there's some tracks that I'm like, I don't really like that. But like he sent it to me and I was like stunned. I was like, man, like immediately, like it was like that. And like I wrote the hook and it was like, oh man, like, and then I struggled for a while with like figuring like, should I just do it solo or like, should I get a feature? Who should I get to feature? And like, yeah, it came out good though. You know what I mean? Like, Scotty, his part, my part and his part totally react with each other.
Yeah, they do. There's a really cool chemistry going on.
Yeah.
And you built it hook first as well, which is so important.
Yeah. Like, because when he wrote his verse, he didn't know what my verse was.
Yeah.
So it was just two completely different flows.
Yeah.
Came together on one song.
Yeah.
Right? And it's kind of crazy how it worked out.
It's yeah. I don't want to give too much away. I will let people hear it, but I have a lot of things I want to say, but I'll hold on to it. Yeah. So pumped for that. So. Cool, man. Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer, and it's getting stuffy as hell in here. We don't have AC yet, but
black ass room and 30-degree heat.
Yeah,
it's not too bad though. It's a nice new little studio.
Yeah, no, it's nice. I like it. For 2 people right now, it's okay. But if you know, start having,
it's not really a studio. You come and you have like 6 people with you. It's maybe like 2 people max.
Yeah, people are learning that the hard way when they bring the girls with them and a couple homies, and they're like, oh, there isn't room for all of us to all just like chill while you record. Yeah. It's kind of like the get shit done room.
It's cool how there's like the separate booth though. I like that.
Yeah. It's a hit, isolated. Man. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like still in sight with you. You know what I mean? Like in the downstairs studio, it's not like that. Like I can't see you.
No.
I can't see how you're reacting to what I'm doing. I can just hear you.
Yeah. Right? It's important too because I can keep an eye on the artist's mic technique if they're too far away or you know, holding their phone weird. Usually I can hear that. Yeah. But now I can actually see.
Yeah.
I can see you. I'm watching. Cool, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming through.
Thanks for having me here, man.
For doing this. It's been so much fun. And I think people have got a really good chance to, you know, get to know you a little bit and hear some really great stories. And, you know, it's been a huge treat for me working with you, because like I said, like you're just such a pro, and you know you treat this like a profession, like a business, and so thank you, man. Like
thank you. I know when I come here, I can look forward to fucking just getting it done and not fucking around, right?
Yeah,
like,
no, we get shit done, dude. 100%.
It's always good. It's always fast. It's quick, but it's nice and clean. It's good. It's nicely executed, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, we got a good thing going. So I can't wait to, you know, keep building with you and do more work.
Lots more hits on the way.
Oh shit. Watch out.
On the way.
So where can people check you out online?
So on Facebook it's Porter Music.
Okay.
Instagram, it's official _ Porter 604. I don't really use Twitter. I'm on Spotify as Porter, Apple Music as Porter, any music platform is Porter.
Porter, yeah. And the new album is out.
Yeah, the new album is out on every streaming platform. Self-made by Porter, mixed and mastered, recorded by Max the Shaw.
at 2 Track in Studio A. Yeah. Thought we did the whole damn thing. So cool, man. Thanks again, and thank you everybody for listening. Hope you're having a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Stressing me and shit. Like, I'm just trying to get up in the studio and get my business done. You already know, bro. Scotty's on the way. She really ain't know how good she got it, bro. No, she really don't. Bet.
She ain't never had a love. She ain't never had a love like this. Like this, like this. Said her ex-man bought me and he treat her like shit. She ain't never had a love. She ain't never had a love like this. Like this, like this. Said her ex-man bought me and he come too quick. Like, she ain't never had a love. She ain't never had a love like this. Like this, like this. Said her ex-man bought me and he treat her like shit. She ain't never had a love. She ain't never had a love like this. Like this, like this. Said her ex-man bought me and he come too quick like, girl, I know you want me, I've been steady on your mind. I know that you've been thinking about me for a long time. Baby, let me in, and I swear that you will see. You ain't never had a lover like me. Never had a love like this. Say she looking for a man, she ain't looking for a kid. And the ex-man was a bum, he a bitch. He ain't never do it right, and he never did shit like, girl, I'll take you shopping, get your hair and nails done. I'll treat you like a queen, cause you ain't never felt love. If your ex is tripping, tell him that we'll link up. He just mad that he lost you, and now Porter beat it up. She ain't never had a love. She ain't never had a love like this. Like this, like this. Said her ex-man bummed me and he treat her like shit. She ain't never had a love. She ain't never had a love like this. Like this, like this. Said her ex-man bummed me and he come too quick like, she ain't never had a love. She ain't never had a love like this. Like this, like this. Said her ex-man bummed me and he treat her like shit. She ain't never had a love. She ain't never had a love like this. Like this, like this. Said her ex-man bummed me and he come too quick like,
she wanna rock with me just like Billie Jean. Ain't no need to search for love, cause I'm what you need. She be pulling up clean when I'm on the scene. That's my baby, ain't shit coming in between. You rock with me, I fuck with you. Meet me at the crib, I'll show you how I play it do. Bought the latest good, thuggin' all over you. Got you screaming, Papi, Mamacita, what you get into? Scody gon' call all the plays. I'm stuck in my ways, I've been here for days. She don't want any of you lame. She all about bags, so bring it this way. I promise that I'll never let you go. Just look me in my eyes, baby girl, it's not your soul. I'm praying you don't fold, I'm hoping we grow old, but you gotta let the ex-man go.
She ain't never had a love. She ain't never had a love like this. Like this, like this. Said her ex-man bummed me and he treat her like shit. She ain't never had a love. She ain't never had a love like this. Like this, like this. Said her ex-man bummed me and he come too quick like, she ain't never had a love. She ain't never had a love like this. Like this, like this. Said her ex-man bummed me and he treat her like shit. She ain't never had a love. She ain't never had a love like this. Like this, like this. Said her ex-man bummed me and he come too quick like,